Did your resume vanish into a big black hole? No reply, no rejection, just complete silence? There's probably a good chance that a human never saw it. Now, when I was at Baker McKenzie and DLA in my days in big law firms, we would be recruiting a lot of people, which meant we had to take into consideration so many aspects. I sometimes had spreadsheets based on where they were educated, their years of qualification. We met them perhaps 2 or 3 times, but now we have AI. So resumes may be getting scanned and ranked by keywords. Some systems even run your video interview that you might have had through software that scores your speech and facial expressions, your level of engagement, and all of these things, because sometimes we use those tools for our work and note-taking. But the theory is quite simple. If you remove the human, you remove the bias, except is it really that simple? Because I don't really think that happens. Systems can sometimes be learning from old hiring data. So if this data is biased, the algorithm doesn't fix that. It keeps copying it and it runs it at scale. Now, Amazon apparently learned this the really hard way. Their AI tool was quietly downgrading every resume of a certain type. Nobody told it to do it. It just learned from the data and ran with it. Now, this has a name in law. It's actually a legal thing. It's called disparate impact, a policy that looks neutral. It's run by an AI, but hits one group harder or hits a certain percentage of people harder. Intent doesn't matter here, only the outcome does. But employers need to sit up and listen. It doesn't matter if a person made the call or an algorithm did, you're still liable either way. In New York, they've already passed a law for this, annual bias audits. So disclosure on how your AI works. A heads up to every candidate that a machine is grading them. You have to tell them that. The US Equal Employment Opportunity Commission went even further. Did you buy the software that's grading the resumes from someone else? That even doesn't matter. If you deployed it, then you own what it does and you have to bear responsibility for what it does. Some tools even score eye contact, speech patterns in interview. I'm sure I wouldn't pass an interview. It's so hard to meet so many of these criteria. So if you have a speech impairment, a visual impairment, you could get filtered out before a single human voice potentially hears you or knows who you are. So it's not just hiring, like people have also been fired on the basis of an algorithm, especially when there's been a huge layoff, etc. No human involved, no explanations given, notification based on your employment contract. Most companies do not know how their AI tools reach these decisions. I myself have learned using some AI tools. I use an extremely great tool called Read AI for note-taking on calls like Zoom calls and Teams calls and things like this. And the level of detail that that particular application goes into is incredible. It even tells me how I must improve my engagement, and it scores everything and every aspect of my engagement and the people I'm interacting with. This is still, of course, a very young area of law. It's evolving, and of course, my month wouldn't be complete unless I made a video about AI. But most existing discrimination rules were written long before any of this technology existed. And basically, they've been stretched to cover these situations that we never anticipated would happen as a result of AI. Regulators are moving towards greater oversight of automated decision-making in employment processes. Employers are being reminded that delegating a decision to AI doesn't delegate the legal responsibility that comes with it, which is why I'm making the video. The machine made the call, but in the eyes of the law, you did. Thank you so much for watching Think Tank this week.